Alright, hey, welcome back to my channel. So I have a different sort of story time for you guys today. This was actually requested by one of my supporters. So shout out to you. This video is for you right here. I'm gonna put her comment on the screen right there and what's the topic about. So basically it's just talking about growing up, being biracial, being mixed, being half black and half white, and the challenges of it and stuff like that I faced because of me being mixed or biracial, etc., however you want to call it. So if you guys want to find out more about me, because I know a lot of you probably don't know this, maybe, I'm not sure, but yeah, stay tuned and keep watching. All right, so basically me, I grew up, my mom is black, African American, and my dad is white, so he's Italian white. Okay, so that's how that goes. So my dad died when I was young, and I grew up with my mom. So my family, I identify as black. My family I grew up with is black, and that's pretty much how I see it. So if somebody does ask me like, what am I mixed with, or what am I Hispanic, or I sneezed, don't mind me, what I am, like what I'm mixed with, I let them know. And it's funny because they never ask me like who's black. They always ask me who's the Italian one. That's the first question I always get from people, like who's Italian, stuff like that. So I grew up with my mom, like I said. My sister, we have different fathers. So my sister is darker complexion than me, so nobody ever believes that we're sisters or whatever. We have the same mother, but everybody always like, no, that can't be your sister, that can't be your sister. Like they're so shocked, like, oh, are you adopted? I always got that question, are you adopted? Somebody say my family, like, are you sure you're not adopted? Are you sure? People have this thing like, you're light skinned, it's no way that you could be black or have any type of black in you. You're either Hispanic or you're white. I've always got, oh, she must be Hispanic, I thought she was Spanish, stuff like that. So that's just how it goes with people, and they just think that basically from me. Like wherever I'm at, Uber, I could be out, somebody always comes to me speaking Spanish. Like I've gotten that so many times, like it's insane, especially living in New York. I don't get that much here in New Jersey, but in New York, yeah, I got that a lot. Kid, I didn't see color at all. I had no idea. Like I didn't look at my mom and say, wow, her skin is darker than mine. So I look at my sister and say, wow, her skin is darker than mine. I never even noticed it. I just did not see color whatsoever. So the day I did start seeing color was one day my sister and my mom came to my class. It was in 3rd grade. They came to my class to drop off my lunch. And when they did, one of the kids that was next to me was a white girl. She said, hey, she was like, how come you're white and your mom's black? Like, how does that work? I was like, because my dad is white. So after that day, I kind of realized like, oh, you know, I am different basically. I never even thought about it. I never thought like, oh, I'm with the white kids, I'm white, I'm black, I'm with the black kids. No, I never even crossed my mind about any of that basically. But in the white schools, they kind of recognized me as being black. And in the black schools or whatever, or the Spanish schools, they wanted me to be Spanish, or they recognized me to say, oh, she's Spanish. Like they automatically just said she's Spanish without even asking me what I was or what was going on. But the white schools automatically said I was black, because back in the day, my actual natural hair was always like, I had a ponytail, but the ponytail itself, I had such long hair, such thick hair, it was like an afro in itself. So the kids knew that no way I could be white. I didn't have Becky's blonde swingy hair or Jessica's long Spanish hair or nothing like that, or curly Spanish hair. My hair was just like an afro puff in the back of my head. That's just how my hair was. So yeah, they always recognized me as that. One time, and this was like the first time I ever experienced like real racism like in front of my face. I didn't even know what it was at the time. I was probably like 7 years old, maybe 8. My friend from school, I'm not sure, I think she was Spanish or whatever. I asked her if she can come play at my house. She asked her mom. So after school, she just came home with me on the bus or whatever. And she came to my house. And when her mother got wind that my family was black, because the mother thought that I was Spanish, thought my family was Spanish. When she got wind, she came and picked up her daughter early, was real nasty about it, and made her leave. And I wasn't able to play with her unless I was in school playing with her. Other than that, she couldn't come by my house. We couldn't play outside together, nothing, because my family was black and she thought that I was Spanish and stuff like that. And obviously she didn't like black people. That's pretty much how it went. The town I lived in was predominantly Spanish, and we was pretty much like maybe like 5 families that were black in that whole town, and it was crazy. So yeah, that was the first time I experienced racism in front of my face or whatever. But yeah, she shouldn't have did that when it came to little kids. That didn't look right at all. She didn't have to act that way, you know. She could have just came and picked her up afterwards, but what she felt like something was gonna happen to her daughter because we were black, like, I don't know. That was just a crazy thing. And moving on, when I was in high school, I actually was in New York at this time, and my high school was predominantly Spanish. So I pretty much was one of 4 out of my whole school from 9th to 12th. 4 black kids in my school, and I was one of them basically. Everybody else in school was Spanish. So they would literally have full debates in the class about my race. Literally, I was not saying anything. They would stand up there and get heated about it too. Like, oh no, she's black. Oh no, she can't be. It's no way that she's black. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. She's Spanish. No, she's Hispanic. She's one of us. She's one of us. Like that type of stuff. Literally going back and forth in front of the teacher about my race. Like, and I said nothing. I was like, yes, I'm mixed. My mom is black. My dad is white. What is so hard to believe about this? Like, I have no clue. Like, they was just so, like, did not want me to be any type of black, like, at all. It was just outrageous. I was like, oh my God. Like, I had no idea the school was predominantly Spanish. If I did, I wouldn't have went to it. I'd rather go to like a mixed school, white, black, Indian, Chinese, stuff like that. It was just a lot going on. Like, the Spanish would talk about the black people in the school, saying different things about them, very like just vulgar, terrible things. And I could not stand to hear that, because lo and behold, you guys don't realize that I'm not one of you guys. I'm actually one of them. So yeah, it was just too much. Also, I had a best friend in that school. She was from Ecuador, right? So we was good friends from like probably 10th to, I would say, 12th grade or whatever. And she hung out with the popular crew. So anyway, we lost touch after school. And I ended up seeing her in the mall one time. My mom was with me. And I told her, you know, in school, you know, my race. She's like, oh my God, that you was Spanish, etc., etc. She knew I was half black, half white, etc. So she saw me in the mall. She's like, oh, hi. I was like, this is my mom, etc., etc. And she never seen my mom, but I did tell her my mom was black. So I guess that shocked her. So, you know, she told me, oh, let me get your number. So we was texting. She wanted me to come to her church or whatever. But she ended up, when it was time for me to come to the church, she ghosted me. And I'm not sure if because she like saw in the flesh that my mom was actually black, and that to know that I'm actually black and I'm not Spanish, like, and I'm not nothing else but black and white. I don't know. And we was friends for a long time, like in school. We was so cool, etc. But I guess her realizing that, you know, the reality of it is true, like, it just, I don't know. But she did ghost me, so, and I haven't talked to her ever since then. That's been a long time from now, so I have no idea what happened. In my adult years, I also experienced a whole lot of racism. I know you guys sick of me hearing word by now, but it's true. Like, this is the video of me talking about my experiences growing up, being mixed, being half black, half white, so you're gonna hear that a lot. So anyway, I experienced that working in, like, let's say Brooklyn or whatever, like in any of the hood areas or whatever. But when I got to Manhattan with the rich white people and stuff like that, and the salons, as you guys know, I'm telling my salon horror stories, I experienced that a lot. Like, it was crazy. So there was points that basically, I believe that they thought I was Hispanic. So that was the whole thing too about that. They didn't want a minority to wash their hair. They didn't want a minority to serve them or deal with them or anything. I don't know. It's just weird. So the clients wouldn't even want me to touch them, wouldn't want me to help them, and wouldn't want me to even wash their hair. So that was a big problem when I worked in these salons. Not every salon was like that, but a lot of them were. I'm not sure, like, what matters, who touches your hair and whatever, but like, it was just, it's crazy. So that's pretty much my experience or whatever growing up, being half black, half white. I would say that it wasn't really a struggle for me because, like I said, I did not see color. I was not embarrassed that my mom was black and my dad was white. I never was embarrassed. My mom actually had a lot of issues when she had me. The doctor asked her, when I came out, is this your child? Whose else baby is it? Like, they asked her that all the time. And every time she would go somewhere, they would think that she's the babysitter. Every single time, like, oh, are you the babysitter? Is that your baby? Are you sure? Are you sure? Stuff like that. It was so strange. Like, and back then, when I was born, I don't know if people just wasn't like hip to couples being biracial or interracial and stuff like that. But y'all need to get it together. People mix all the time. Like, it's just, it's a thing. Like, we're not in back in the day when, you know, stuff was how it was or whatever, which it should never have been like that. But yeah, a product of a black mom and a white dad. So that's pretty much it for that. So I don't know what else to say. Let me know down below your thoughts on this. If you are biracial, how was it growing up? Especially if you had like a white mom and a black dad and it was actually together or whatever. Let me know how that went or whatever. Because I feel like most of the time, when you are biracial, it's usually the mom that's white and the dad that's black. I know one other YouTuber that her mom is actually black and her dad's white. She looks a little bit more mixed than I do. So yeah, growing up, I think she said that she had some, not issues, but the kids would be like, oh, is that your mom, etc., etc. Like, they were surprised about who her mom was because she had like long blonde hair as a kid, and you know, like real light blonde, and then her eyes are like pretty light color, her skin is pretty light, her mom is dark skin, and they didn't think that was her mom, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, learned something new about me, and ask me any questions you want to know down below. Be respectful as always, and I will see you guys next time.